Okay, now we're into our last chapter, chapter 18, and this is the chapter on numbers. You're going to find that there are many, many, many rules for numbers, so they might be a little bit confusing at first. It's a good idea to keep your textbook or your reference manual handy because even experts can't always remember all the rules all the time. So as we study these numbers, you're going to find some common threads and some exceptions, just like anything else. Uh, but like I say, if you're not sure, always just check your reference or your textbook. Okay, first of all, we're going to talk about how to choose between figure and word forms to express general numbers and numbers beginning sentences, and properly placed hyphens and commas in numbers as needed. And then we're also going to talk about expressing money, dates, clock times, addresses, and telephone and fax numbers correctly. Okay, the general rule is the numbers 1 through 10 are generally written out as words. Um, you might see on their study tip at the top of the page that to remember it better, some people call this the rule of 10. So they're generally written out, not always, but you're going to find this more than not. Numbers above 10 are written as figures. And this is a general rule. Numbers that begin sentences are written as words. And if a number involves more than 2 words, rewrite the sentence. You'll notice that this instance here, this example, looks funny. So if you have a situation like that, you'll want to reword the sentence and put the number in there somewhere else. Okay, and then when expressing many numbers in figure form, separate groups of 3 digits by comma, or separate the groups of 3 digits by commas to improve clarity. And we've talked about this before, the thousands separator. It just makes them easier to read. This, of course, does not apply to years, house numbers, telephone and fax numbers, zip codes, account numbers, or page numbers. Compound numbers 21 through 99 are hyphenated when they are written in word form. Okay. For money, sums of $1 or greater are expressed as figures. If the sum is a whole dollar amount, omit the decimal and zeros, whether or not the amount appears with fractional dollar amounts, and use the currency symbol. And don't put space between the currency symbol and number. And do not include the word dollar. Since dollar sign represents the word dollar, we don't need this. Okay, so here's some examples. They put the decimal here, 95, and then if it doesn't have any cents after it, you don't have to put a decimal. And notice that the dollar sign is right next to the number. Okay, and in here they have the thousand separator to help you read the number easier. Okay, for sums less than $1, you write them as figures followed by the word cents. If they are part of sums greater than $1, use the dollar sign and a decimal instead of the word cents. Okay, so in this instance, 4 cents, we use the word cents here. Now, since we have a series of numbers, instead of this one being 56 cents written this way, that would look awkward. So in this instance, we use the dollar sign, the decimal, and then put 56 cents. Same way here. So since we have other numbers that are represented the other way, these are called like numbers. We format them the same way. Okay, dates. In dates, numbers that appear after the name of the month are written in cardinal figures. 1, 2, 3, and so on. So we may say June 1st, but we write it June 1. Those that stand alone or appear before the name of the month are written in ordinal figures, such as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Okay, so contracts must be signed and returned by January 30th. We just put 30 here. We could say 30th, but we don't put the TH there. On the 1st of January, now that since it's before the month, name of the month, we put it in the ordinal figures. Okay, clock time. Figures are used when clock time is expressed with AM or PM. Either figures or words may be used with the words o'clock. Okay, appointments begin at 8:30 a.m. This is written out and end at 5 p.m. And notice I don't have to put this in here. I can just put the 5. I believed he called at 3 o'clock or 3 o'clock. You can use either one if it's before the word o'clock. Okay, addresses and house numbers. Except for the number 1, house numbers are expressed as figures. Now, I can understand why this is this way, because if we just put 1 Park Plaza, that might look like an L, or it might be a little confusing. The rest of them are pretty straightforward, but I believe that's why they make you do the 1 different. Okay, street names that involve the number 10 or lower, or a lower number, are written entirely as ordinal words. And if you live on 1st Street, you would write F-I-R-S-T, 2nd Street, and 3rd Street, so on. If the street name is greater than 10, the numeral portion is written in figures. So we still have, here we have 5th, but then we have 42nd, 33rd, and 68th. So any of them that are greater than 10, the number portion is written in figures. Okay, and then telephone and fax numbers are expressed with figures, of course. When used, generally place the area code in parentheses preceding the telephone number. You may also separate the area code from the telephone number with hyphen or periods. And we've all seen it in this format. This one here is becoming more common. If you're going to work for a company and be writing for them, they're probably going to have a format they want you to put those in. So that's a good thing to learn, is what your company wants you, how they want you to format these. Okay, let's see. The committee was made up of 1 chair and 8 members. What do you think? Okay, so since this is below the number 10, we write those out in figures. Internet service cost $25 per month. Well, I'm going to guess we could probably get rid of this part. Our next sales meeting will take place on April 18th. Big no-no. We just put 18 on there. All employees should be at work by 8 a.m. Well, I think we can probably leave this part off and just have the 8, and then we want to make these lowercase. The court is located at 2 Broadway Lane. I believe we want to not have that word but have the number there. They will relocate to 8387 South 12th Street. Whoa. Okay. How about if we did this? Okay, that's a little easier to read. I need another 25 cents for the vending machine. They don't recommend you use this right here. It's too close to the letter C. So we're going to write cents. Okay, a down payment of $2,500 is required. Why don't we go in here and put 1,000 separator? "21 employees called in sick on Friday." Well, we never start a sentence with a number, so we're going to have to put this as 21. We need that hyphen in there. Okay, please call 800-985-1650 to place your order. There's more than one way to do this. We'll see what they give us. Okay, but we saw there was other ways you can write this as well. Okay, we're going to save this for the next video, so we're done with this one.